everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. And I want to talk to you today about a book that I got in the mailbox from Black Crowe Books. It's called Coffin Moon by Keith Rosson, and this is not it. 1, 2, 3, not it, although this is Coffin Moon by Keith Rosson. This was a signed trade edition that I got from Random House. I think I got this on Barnes & Noble. I did a video reviewing this book. This one is signed by author Keith Rosson, 2025. This is the first edition, first print trade hardcover. And you can see the first print there. The number line goes all the way down to 1. It's the first book by Keith Rosson that I'd ever read. Nick Galley let me read a digital arc before the book came out. And I did a review here, a book I really, really liked. It's a vampire novel that has also a revenge story, a family story, and much, much more. An on-the-road story, a coming-of-age story. It's got all of these things that make up story archetypes, and it was a fantastic book. Made me want to read more by Keith Rosson, but Black Crowe Books published a special edition, and I've got a love, kind of like, let's say a love-like relationship with the stuff I've gotten from him. I've gotten some stuff that knocked my socks off, and then I've gotten some stuff from them that left my socks in place, but I was not unhappy with, you know what I mean? So some with lots of features that really were cool, that said, wow, that's amazing. And then others were like, oh yeah, it's good. Or as they say these days, it's fine. It's fine. But I want to open it up. The Friendly Neighborhood Mail Lady has delivered. This one shipped by the Broken Binding, and I don't know how those relationships work, but Black Crowe Books in the United Kingdom, typically the stuff is shipped by the Broken Binding, although the box says Black Crowe Books, and they package them well. So the stuff ought to make it over here from over there in tippity-top shape, and that's a mark of great service, great protection in shipping. Because when it comes to books are easy to damage in the mail. Any little ding and the book is damaged, and it hurts, and most people don't like ding books. If they collect them, they want their books to be tip of the top, cream of the crop. It's Mary Poppins in every stop. So publishers and shippers and sellers that take care of that part of it are already on the good list. They're already doing the thing, and that's what they did. They got it in a box, a good box, big enough to protect the book, with some cushioning and padding in here. And I always like this stuff. I only get it on books shipped from the United Kingdom, so I don't know if it's a UK thing or what it is, but the Folio Society and others, I get stuff in here. I like it. It's neat. It's like expanded paper, and it's good for all sorts of things. You can paint it black and brown and green and hide under it in the woods when you're playing hide and go seek. Or you can use it to start a fire with, because it starts a fire very easily. You can hide behind it. Or you can use it to wrap around a book and ship a book to somebody else. All sorts of benefits there, and I'm sure there are others. Composting, for you composters, you might be able to compost it. But inside that, we're wrapped in bubble wrap. So taking pains to make sure that I am taken care of. The royal we get our books in great shape. So right away, and I'll compare and contrast, but instantly, at a glance, you notice anything different about this edition right away. That dust jacket artwork. Now this is in a Bro Art cover, so it's a little bit shinier. I put my stuff in Bro Art. You get the same artwork, but notice something different? It's a little bit different. A different color scheme. You get that gold foil stamping on that skull. And here it's the color of the rest of the stuff. So they both look good. I don't want to insult one, but here's already an extra feature to it. And you pay more. With shipping and all from the United Kingdom is $60.62 in US dollars. And that's converting the pound to the dollar and adding shipping over the Atlantic Ocean, all that stuff. So it costs more, about double, all in, delivered and all. But let's see what all you get from there. So there's the back of our dust jacket. And look here, look at the spine. You get that gold foil and gold spray. Now, I'm looking at it closely. Because there are some publishers out there that they're selling $200 books, and they put this gold stamped foil on the page ends, and it's always messed up. And every edition you get from them has damage, and they pretty much will tell you, hey, it's damaged. If you don't like it, we'll give you a refund before we ship the book. Once we ship the book, it's on you. And that'll happen over and over and over again. Not the ones that I vouch for, not the ones that I love, but there are publishers out there that you might love. So I don't want to insult you. But I've gotten those emails before. It's damaged. If you don't like it, tell me now. Otherwise, it's all yours. There we go. But this looks good. So that feature, the foil stamping on the cover, or the foil on the cover, the foil on the page ends, looks fantastic. Already, we're in that getting what you pay for territory already. But let's go a little farther. Take this this dust jacket off. I'll stretch it out a little bit and show you what should look like all stretched out. And then I'll show you some of the other features. And I didn't know what to expect here. I've done a little research, I could have. But I already saw something here that says, all right, I'm getting my money's worth now. Now we got cloth covered boards. This isn't paper like you get on typical modern day trade. Also, hot foil stamping on the front of the board and the spine. So now we're getting into good looking stuff. A book that would look good on the shelf without the dust jacket. This is like Centipede Press sort of stuff that you can expect. I just say that because Centipede Press is a great limited edition publisher that vintage typically will have black cloth covered boards and silver foil stamping. So this is gold. But anyway, this is in their territory. Now let's look a little bit, if I can. It's hard with this sort of stuff. I cannot tell by looking at the spine if we have a sewn binding. Just my guess, it is. Yes, I can tell. I can stretch it out a little bit here, and I don't know if you can see it. We have a sewn binding. So again, we're into the good stuff. $60 for good stuff. Foil, sprayed edges, cloth covered boards, hot foil stamping on the cover and the spine. Extra additional features to the dust jacket. Look at these end papers here. So this is what, when I think of Black Crowe books and I think of knocking my socks off, this is an example of why I fell in love with them. An edition like this. All of these extra features in here that help to make this a special edition. Now let's see what else is included as we go. So this is a signed limited edition. And they came out with another version of this book from the same company. You can see the signature and the little skull drawing there. So this signature is different than the other one I showed you from Keith Rosson, but he did add a little doodle to it. It is 95 out of 1,000. So I got number 95 out of 1,000 copies. They have another version that I think had some stenciling on the page ends. It looked a little bit different. But as far as I know, and it was cheaper. I think it was $30, 30-ish. I don't know. Don't quote me. It was cheaper than this anyway. And I don't think it was signed, and I don't think it was numbered. It looked really good. So if you have the ability to get something signed by Keith Rosson, maybe you would want to check that one out as well. Get that one too, because it looked great, and it cost less, and you can get that signed. Get this one too. They both are great. I'm not sure if they are still available. I think they are, and I'll put a link in the description. Either way, if I remember, I'll put a link in the description. But it should not have any interior illustrations. And here's an example of what it looks like. A slight off-white. The text size is good, not giant, it's not small. It looks like it would be a great read, great to read. It is a great book. And in a nutshell, let me show you the other one too while we're talking. In a nutshell, I did a book review. I'll put a link in the description for that as well. You have a Vietnam veteran who has alcohol addiction and issues, and he's married to a woman that he was married to before he went to war. He's trying to get sober. Meanwhile, he's a bartender, or he works at the bar. I think he was security at the bar. He works at the bar. Bartender. well, whatever, I can't remember now. His security at the bar, I think, that his mother and father-in-law own. So he's a recovering alcoholic working at a bar. Some bad jokers come in the bar, and he thinks they're trying to stiff arm his in-laws, who he works for. And he's security, and so he does what he thinks he ought to do, even at the behest of them saying, no, please stay out of it. And he ends up upsetting bad people. And I won't go any farther in there, but there are vampires involved. And he and his wife have adopted a niece. I think she was her niece, his wife's niece. Adopted her. Her mom killed her stepdad. Her mom's in jail. Stepdad's dead. So he goes to live with them. And she gets drugged into the middle of it. And I won't go any farther with it. But it's a vampire story. It's a revenge story. And it's an on-the-road story. It's a coming of age. And there's some family ties there. And fantastic book. And one that's made me want to read more from this author. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about this trade edition. I showed you the features of that limited edition from Black Crowe. But just for comparison, the trade edition is all paper. Paper on paper. You do have the text on the spine. The end papers are just white. There are no illustrations there. It is a, let me make sure now. It is also a sewn binding. You can see the binding there. Can you? I don't know. It is also a sewn binding. And that's that. This one was signed by, it was Barnes & Noble. Sometimes they get signed editions. It's not limited. There's nothing on here that indicates that it was a signed book or anything like that. They got it signed. They got a cool signature. It looks like he almost printed his name. A little more elaborate than the other one I got, but it doesn't have the doodle. So full disclosure, just showing you what I see. Both editions stay in my collection. One thing that I probably would have done, just what I do. If the Black Crowe books would have had the exact same dust jacket artwork, I probably would have sold this Barnes & Noble book. I don't know what they go for. Probably not a ton, but I probably would have sold it. But there is enough of a difference in the outer appearance that more than likely I'll end up keeping both. And it's a good enough book for that. There are books that I think might be okay enough to keep one, but not necessarily okay enough to have more of. But this is that kind of book. When you ask me about great vampire novels that I've read, this is on the list. It's on the list. With no doubt, with no hesitation, it's a great one. Another one that I read this year, Stephen Graham Jones' Buffalo Hunter is another one that's on that list. Another great one. But this is there too. Great job by Keith Rosson. Great job by Black Crowe Books. I love what you did for it. This one knocked the socks off. This is every bit and more pleasing, happy, glad I ordered this particular edition of this particular book. Thank you for what you do. And with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. C'est la vie, baby. Dude.